Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I am Dr. Claudia Albers, Planet X research and professional physicist. And today I'd like to bring to you another one of my articles. This one's entitled "The Physical Universe Reflects God's Nature, the Light Spectrum." Now, in my journey of discovery regarding what was going on in the solar system, I have uncovered many truths about how the universe really works, and in the process found out that just about everything we have been taught, a scientific fact, is wrong. So this journey has forced me to rewrite most of the physical understanding regarding the real laws which govern the universe. These appear in the many articles and books I've written, such as Book 3 entitled Planet X Reveals Gravity and Light, and Book 10 entitled Planet X Reveals How the Universe Works, as well as the videos I've made on the articles. And here you see some photographs of the sky at sunset, and these I actually took from where I used to live in South Africa, and you can see purple and pink and more purple and pink and some blue here. The clouds actually appear to be blue in places here, and here they appear to be purple, and down here pink. So this is what puzzled me, and this is what started me looking at what was going on. And I started out this journey because the sky looked pink, as I said, at sunset, and I knew that it could not be pink if what I knew about light was correct. It turns out that the color of the clouds is not due to scattering, as every physicist has been taught, including me, but because clouds are absorbing energy from electrons in the Earth's atmosphere. This energy is in the form of photons, and the electrons release excess energy in the form of photons when they settle in a water molecule in a cloud. When the cloud is very low in energy, they release a lot of photons and the cloud looks white. But after the cloud has gained a good amount of energy, the electrons release fewer photons, and so the cloud looks gray, as long as the same number of blue, green, and red photons are released at the same time. And here you can see the energy levels in the Earth's atmosphere. And so we start with infrared electrons at the bottom, then visible light electrons, ultraviolet electrons, and X-ray electrons. And as the Earth loses energy, these energy levels are likely to move downward. So we are going to get more ultraviolet electrons at a lower altitude, and that will affect the colors that we see in the clouds as well. But we most definitely see these colors, red, yellow, blue, violet, at sunset and sunrise, and there must be a reason for that. And what happens is, at sunset and sunrise, we are at the position on the Earth's surface which directly faces Earth's direction of motion as it orbits the sun, or which faces directly away from the Earth's direction of motion. These are most likely the points where the debris, which has spread out across the Earth's orbit, enters the Earth's atmosphere or makes contact with it, which would then disturb the Earth's electron levels. In addition, the quick absorption of certain electrons would lead to their depletion, so that, for instance, if blue light electrons become unavailable, the clouds may then look yellow, because only red and green light electrons would be available. So only electrons that have the energy, the photon energy, to release red and green light photons when they enter into one of the water molecules and settles into the right energy level. But this is a low energy level at this time, so it needs to release a lot of light, so it releases all the red or all the green, depending on which photon it is. So this illustrates what we would then have. This would be the orbit. So this is the point where say the Earth, if it's moving in this direction, this would be the direction you move in, and the sun would be over here. So this would be someone on the surface of the earth at this point would be at the midnight position. This faces away from the sun, whilst a person on the opposite side of the earth, on the side that we don't see from here, would be facing the sun. So that would be the midday position. And then these side positions are basically the sunset and the sunrise positions. And because the debris fills up Earth's orbit, because this debris and these stellar cores would have the same energy level as Earth, and that's why they occupy Earth's orbital energy level, then they would make contact with the Earth's atmosphere at the sunset and the sunrise positions. So this is where they would enter. So the strange colors that can now be observed in the sky due to the Planet X system also seem to be arranged differently from the way we have been taught, with pink, peach, and violet being a part of the spectrum, which I have named the violet spectrum, which seems to be another light cycle, similar but yet different from the red to blue cycle. From these observations, I've come up with a new version for the light spectrum, and you may look at article 600 for more details on that. But in that spectrum, what I did was I placed this gray color in the place of the green, and the green is the light with the negative phase. Because when we add green to red, say, we get a photon which has an energy which is somewhere between the two. But and the same happens when we add green to blue. But when we add red and blue, we get a photon which has more energy than both. So that suggests that there's something else besides just frequency which describes photons. And I started using this frequency phase to do that. But then in place of green, we have in the violet cycle, or the violet part of the spectrum, we have something which must be equivalent to green. So what I did was, I didn't know which color to place in there, so I used gray. But now I have realized that gray is actually the absence of color, just like pure white is the absence of color, although most colors can appear to be white when the light being emitted is very bright or very intense. In other words, photons are being emitted at very high rates, creating a high-density photon fluid. Gray is the color that a person who is colorblind will see whenever looking at the color they are blind to. They see the shade as corresponding to the density of photons detected, but they cannot sense the color of these photons. So gray is the absence of color. Color is also missing from pure white light, which is an equal mixture of the three types of photons from which all light shades can be produced: red, green, and blue. The color that best fits the green position in the violet range is brown. If we add some violet to green, it is likely that it would turn out looking somewhat like brown. So now I've replaced the gray with a brown, and this is what you see here. Now, it is interesting that we are told in the Bible that God is light, and we are also told that there are three people in the Godhead, which each with their own personality, but they make up one God. So it seems fitting that the universe that God created out of light, since all energy and matter comes from light, reflects this characteristic of God. This indicates that the universe that God created reflects his nature. This also shows us why we are lied to about the real laws of the universe. The God of this world wants to keep us from seeing the truth and from finding our Creator. So in conclusion, the colorful sunsets and sunrises we see on this planet seem to be due to the Planet X system objects and debris entering the Earth's atmosphere along the sunrise and sunset positions. The universe reflects the nature of God. And these are the references. This is Dr. Claudia Albers, Planet X physicist. Thank you for watching.